4:35, Jeff Katz, News Radio, WRVA. It is Friday afternoon. Congratulations. We have made it. Self-high fives all the way around. Monday, of course, is Memorial Day. We observe Memorial Day. We honor those who have made the sacrifice. We salute those folks who have paid the ultimate price, laid down their lives, but we don't celebrate Memorial Day. We may celebrate the lives of those who were willing to give their all for the rest of us, but I just tell you that because people, I think as a reflex, say, well, have a happy Memorial Day. No. Have a thoughtful Memorial Day? You betcha. A meaningful Memorial Day? Okay. But happy Memorial Day is really not the phrase to be used. Just saying. Okay. Now, down in Chesterfield, some of my friends down there are going to be electing brand new members of the Board of Supervisors. So there's one district, the Matoaka district, which actually has, and I didn't realize this, they have not one, not two, but three Republicans, three men seeking the Republican nomination for that Matoaka Board of Supervisors seat. Wednesday, we had one of the gentlemen on. Yesterday, we had another one of the gentlemen on. And this afternoon, Kevin Carroll is joining us. He, too, is seeking that nomination. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Jeff, thanks for having me back on, sir.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about why you, and again, we should remind everybody, you're a retired Chesterfield County police officer. Why are you looking at seeking this seat?
You know, Jeff, I had the pleasure of working for the last 32 years as a Chesterfield County police officer and retired in October in the rank of sergeant. I became involved in public service, I don't know, I was about 15 years old. I became a volunteer firefighter at a small volunteer department in Rhode Island. So I've been involved in public service my entire life. And I think I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I think this is what I'm meant to do, right? So I want to continue to serve the people of Chesterfield County. I've been keeping them safe for 32 years. You know, public safety is a big commitment for me. I've been, as you said, leader of the local president of the FOP and the state president of the FOP. My tenure at the police department, I worked on 3 different pay studies, fighting each time to make sure that we had pay in the area that's comparable and countermeasurate to what the other jurisdictions around us have. And, our turnover rate has been over 9% for the last 10 years. We've hired over 475 people and lost 439. So in the police department, we need to work on retention. And part of that is fixing the pay and benefits that we have. I've worked in the General Assembly as a lobbyist for the FOP, and I was able to get an increase in retirement benefits by working collectively with members in the House and Senate and the governor and with other associations like the Firefighters Professional Association, the Chiefs of Police Association, the State Police Association, the Sheriff's Association to get a retirement increase for all of public safety in Virginia, which hadn't been done in 19 years.
Wow.
So last year I worked with legislators in the General Assembly to pass legislation on hoax crime issues. We had an incident in Chesterfield County where some kids faked an abduction. We realized after talking with the Commonwealth Attorney there was no charge that we could place on them. And so legislation was carried and we were able to get it through the General Assembly. My point is I have a history, a track record of being able to work with people to accomplish a goal. So the other thing we need to work on is transportation and economic development in Chesterfield County. As a leader, you must have the ability to work with other people. People who live in your community and potential investors who would like to develop in your community. Smart, responsible growth by working together to attract projects that enhance your community. You must consider all sides when you're looking at this stuff. It's not just the people side or the developer side. You have to have the equal seat at the table to make sure that when you're doing something, it's good. We have to continue to improve projects that, again, are going to enhance our community. We need to stay up on our infrastructure for the roads. We have a place out of the road and Duval Road that is flooded several times over the last year where people couldn't get out. They couldn't get home because the road was flooded. And if you look at the county's transportation plan right now, this road is not even on the plan to get upgraded. It's a priority that needs to be pushed up.
Okay.
And again, we have approved plenty of projects, and they're going to enhance our community. But at the same time, what good is it if we put a beautiful neighborhood in which we have out there, several of them, but people can't get in and out of it. So the builders and developers trying to sell houses, but people are like, I don't live in there because the road floods. So we got to do better.
Let me ask you, Kevin, before you move on to education, because that was one of the issues raised yesterday, was that there are developments that have gone in. The houses have all gone up, but there hasn't necessarily been any road that's been associated with it. But what was said yesterday was, it's sort of like, well, we'll get around to that when we get around to it. Is that right?
Well, what happens is, as an example, I mean, if you look at out of their road, when they put the new developments in out there, Summer Lake and Westerly, the developer did a great job on his responsibility, which is to fix the road and widen the road in front of the development. But that's all that was done. Well, after you do that, then the county needs to look at saying, okay, that's great, but we need to fix the road getting in and out. They did put a roundabout up at Genito, which was needed because there was so much traffic coming out of there. Now it became dangerous in the mornings. That project was just completed. But yes, the developers, when they come in, they proffer conditions, they proffer money to help do these upgrades. But then outside of where the development is, the feeder roads that the people have to go on and travel to go to work every day, those are the roads we need to work on. They're 2-lane roads. We've had several bus accidents out there just in the last couple of months between Woolward Road and Otterdale Road with kids on the buses. So we got to fix the roads, and that's one of the things that I want to make a priority. If the people choose to elect me. Yeah.
Now I cut you off. You wanted to talk a little bit about the education in Chesterfield. Tell us how you see that at this moment.
Well, remember now, one of the other things that the people moved to Chesterfield County because it's a great place to live. That's why I moved here. And so when I moved here, there was about 176,000 people. Now we have 344,000. And so we continue to grow. In that western part of Matoka, which we're talking about, the western part of Hull Street, we still have almost 6,000 houses that haven't been built yet that have been approved. Now that brings schools into play. So we have to have elementary schools. We're also going to have to look at a junior high school out there because when people come and move in these houses, they don't just have elementary school age kids. They have high school kids and junior high kids. So we need to look at that infrastructure and make sure we're going to be able to meet the need to supply a proper classroom for kids. Like I said, we don't want to put everybody in trailers.
Right.
We also need to make sure that our teachers and our employees are properly compensated so we can retain them. Part about having great schools, it's not just a building. It's what the teachers do in that building. They are the most important thing because it's their knowledge that they're giving to the kids. And so we need to be competitive to make sure that we have properly compensated teachers so that we can give the best education possible. And as the Board of Supervisors, their responsibility is to fund all this. Right. The school board's responsibility is to develop their budget, to develop what they need in the capital improvements project. They need to work together with the Board of Supervisors. I pledge to do that. With the incoming school board, I pledge to work with them to make sure that we're properly funding the schools. And look, I don't have to know everything. I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. But I have had a track record of finding someone who is an expert in what I need to know. And so if there's something I don't know, I'll find someone who does. And we have so much talent within Chesterfield County of our people who live here. I don't have to go for find answers. I've never had to do that. People move here because, like I said, we're an excellent community.
Right.
One of the last things I want to talk about is transparency and accountability. I think one of the issues that's continually brought up to me when I'm talking to people is there's an apparent perception of non-transparency from government, even from all walks of government, all the way up in Congress, all the way down to local.
Sure.
I attribute a lot of this to communication problems. No matter what organization you belong to, timely and effective communication is key. It's the same thing in any relationship in life. If you don't communicate with your loved ones, if you let it go, you start having problems. Your people are no different. So the county needs to communicate better with the people. We need to utilize technology better. Twitter has over 261 million users, and Facebook has like 238 billion monthly active users. Right. So many of our communities already have their own pages. They only have their own groups. So why can't we, as the county, tap into that and say, hey, we're going to get information out to you a lot quicker? Yeah. I'm not a politician or a political appointee. I'm a humble public servant. I want to continue to help the people in the place that I call home. I've called home my whole entire adult life. People, when they have dealt with me and if they've had a problem, I've solved it for them. And I'm the only one of the candidates that has decades, over 3 decades, of experience doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I spent doing my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm running.
All right. Well, Kevin, I want folks who are down in that neck of the woods to be able to get some more information, reach out to you. What is the best way? The website?
Sure. Well, I have friendsofkevincarroll.com, Friends of Kevin Carroll on Facebook, and Carroll numerical 4 Matoka on Twitter. And so, hey, look, I really appreciate you getting me on again. I do want to say one thing. Look, I really like the fact that you're going out to the police stations and having donuts and coffee with our local police officers. I think that's great. I know that's a stereotype, but truth matters. We do eat coffee and donuts.
That's right.
It's a great thing. And last but not least, I do, of course, want to congratulate you on your President's Volunteer Service Award. I mean, I saw what you posted on Facebook. That's pretty cool.
You know, I learned the lesson that if the return address is the White House, you really should open that envelope first.
Yeah, I would. Absolutely. If it's the IRS, not so much, but the White House, yes.
Exactly. Hey, Kevin, one more time, give those websites. We gave everybody the chance to give their websites twice. I want to give the same opportunity to you.
Sure. Friendsofkevincarroll.com and Facebook, Friends of Kevin Carroll, and Twitter, Carroll for Metallica.
All right. Well, thank you. That is Kevin. Apologize. I meant to put him on. Kevin, no offense. I accidentally hung up on him. I meant to put him on hold. But thanks so much to Kevin Carroll for dropping by as well. So we've had all three of the candidates on who are seeking that seat, and I wanted you to have the opportunity. Again, I did this all in the sense of fairness. We had Kevin on in his role as the president of the Fraternal Order of Police for National Police Week. And then one of the other candidates had said, oh, my gosh, that's not fair. People are going to get a bad. So we had each of the three candidates on to speak about their issues. And again, I thank them so much for that. So if you are in the Matoaka district down in Chesterfield, you've heard from each of those three Republicans. Now, there's a Democrat running as well, but we're only dealing with the primary. So there you have it. It is 446 Jeff Katz, News Radio, WRVA.